Okay, so technically I didn't drop the baby, but the baby did fall because of my actions. And it was onto a rug, but still, it was still a baby falling. And to make myself feel a little bit better, it was only about a foot drop. So, being a parent to a newborn child, it has some scary things. And two of those biggest fears tend to be dropping the baby and SIDS. SIDS is the one that's out of my control. And a lot of people might not know what SIDS stands for, but SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. And it's as scary as it sounds. Your baby's fine one minute, and then the next it's dead. And the other fear I have already done. So I feel really stupid, and I hate myself a lot because of it. So, here's my story. So, baby dropping, apparently pretty common. I was dropped as a baby. Courtney was dropped as a baby. My brother was dropped as a baby. A lot of people were dropped as babies. It happens a lot more than people think. And as a dad, my first thought when I held my son for the very first time was, don't drop him, don't drop him, don't drop him. I wasn't even like, oh, look how beautiful he is. Look how he looks like this. Look how he looks like that. Look at his little hands. I was only just repeating in my head, don't drop him, don't drop him, don't drop him, don't drop him, don't drop him. But about 2 weeks ago, I dropped him. I was holding the baby while sitting on the couch, and Jobin needed some help getting out of his clothes so he could get ready for his bath. Jobin being Courtney's son. So I am sitting on the couch. I am holding Aiden. Aiden is sitting right here on my shoulder. I just got done burping him. Everything was going great. Jobin was about to get ready for a bath, which I was going to help him get his bath. And before he did that, Courtney was helping him get undressed. And while he was getting undressed, he told her that he could easily take his shirt off himself. He was not able to take off his shirt himself, and Courtney got busy. And while Courtney was busy, he came in, and I was just like, come here. Don't bother mom. Come over here and let me help you take your shirt off. So I try to help him unbutton his shirt. While I'm trying to unbutton his shirt, I cannot get this thing unbuttoned. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit the baby down and I'm going to get your shirt off so you can go take a bath. So I'm sitting on the couch. I take the baby. I put him on the couch. I sit him right here and I look at him. I'm like, all right, he's sturdy. He's stable. He's not going anywhere. He's too young to roll at this point. He's not going anywhere. As I got up, I went, all right, Jobin, raise your hands. And the motion of me getting off the couch shuffled the baby, and he fell off the couch onto the floor. Oh my God, I can still hear the thud of him hitting the floor. That was so traumatizing. And then he started screaming, which my baby doesn't cry. He doesn't cry for anything. Nothing. He is a very calm baby. But it was more of a scare than anything. There was nothing wrong with him. Like I said, it was a very small fall. But this was a first-time experience for me, so I am traumatized at this point. I don't want anyone to speak to me. I just feel like I am the worst human being in the entire world. I didn't sleep that night. I had it in my mind that he had a concussion and he was going to die in his sleep. It was bad. I was in a really bad place that night. I maybe slept 45 to an hour that night. I was a very unhappy camper. But when Courtney walked through her bedroom door with Aiden and him being as happy as ever, I was able to breathe a sigh of relief that my son was fine, that this little thought that I had in the back of my head was just anxiety. And then it turns out that Courtney had actually told her mom what I had done. And she's allowed to do that, but a part of me was just like, let's pretend this never happened and I'm not going to tell anybody. Because I don't want to be known as that guy who dropped his kid. But then, after Courtney told her parents, everybody started telling me how they had dropped their kid, or how they were dropped as kids, or how they had dropped a kid. So I was like, whoa, a lot of people drop kids. It's like nothing to actually be ashamed of. I mean, you don't want to drop kids. Don't freaking drop kids. You just got to be careful and, things happen. So Courtney had told her parents. And then Courtney's parents came over and were like, so we heard what happened. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. This is awkward. This is horrible. I don't want to be having these conversations with her parents because I'm embarrassed to no end about what I had done. I didn't want anyone to know. I wasn't going to tell anybody. It was going to be something that was unknown to anybody. But Courtney told her parents, and then when Courtney told her parents, and then I had to talk to her parents about how they had dropped kids. And that actually helped me a lot. That made me feel really good that they're like, by the way, we dropped kids too. And I'm like, oh, so I'm not this horrible person because she has great kids and they're great parents. So I was like, okay, everything's going to be okay. But because Courtney told her parents, I was like, fine, I'll tell my parents. So I told my parents. Then I had some friends come over and Courtney told them. So I was like, all right, fine. I'm just going to tell this story because I just need to get it off my chest. Because it was something that was just going to sit deep in the depths of my chest. Because I don't want my son eventually later down the line feeling like, oh, I'm not as smart. And maybe I'm not as smart because my dad dropped me. Well, first of all, Aiden, if you're watching this in the future, I didn't drop you. Sort of. It was an accident, okay? I didn't have any. I mean, I did. I didn't. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I hope you're smart. I really do hope you get mom's brains because my brains, dude, I'm sorry if you get my brains. But yeah, that happened and it's embarrassing to admit. I will also admit that I cried. I cried a bit when that happened. I was very emotional. It was a tough time. And I'm not trying to make it all about me. I'm just glad that Aiden is fine. This was 2 weeks ago. He's perfectly fine. Super healthy baby. The boy won't stop eating. He is growing. He's at 11 pounds now. When he was born, he was 8 pounds, 11 ounces. So he's shooting up. He's shooting up in poundage. And he's over a month old now. My son is a month old now. And eventually, yes, he will be able to know and understand that, yes, dad is a stupid person who dropped him. But it makes me feel comfortable knowing that, hey, Courtney admitted she accidentally dropped Jobin. Courtney's parents admitted that they accidentally had one of their sons fall downstairs. I'm like, hey, at least he didn't fall downstairs. These are good things to know. It's comforting things to know. It's not good things to know. No one needs to be dropping babies, but it's nice to know that, hey, it happens. And after reading multiple articles, apparently it's pretty hard to hurt a baby. Babies are pretty gosh darn sturdy, especially at the height that I dropped them onto a rug. So I'm going to ask you guys a question in the comment section, and I want to know honestly because I think this would be an interesting thing to know. Were you dropped as a child, or have you ever dropped a child? Those are both interesting questions. I don't think most people have ever been asked in their lives. So you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But if you do, I would be very interested to know. Now, hopefully no one goes down in the comments section and is just like, you're a horrible parent. You shouldn't have kids. Because that's not fair. You shouldn't say that to people that have, dropped their children. Because in no way, obviously, did I want anything to happen. I was multitasking, which I shouldn't have been doing. And something happened. I just have to be more careful. And it was a learning experience, to say the least. I don't do multitasking really at all anymore. And I sure as hell do not sit Aiden on the couch anymore. I just hate that situation had to be learned. I hate that I had to learn something through my son's, trauma. Hopefully he's not traumatized by this. Hopefully later in life he's not afraid of heights. And I'm like, why are you afraid of heights? And he doesn't know, but I know. I know why he's scared of heights. Enough ranting. I hope you were able to enjoy this horrible story that I've had to live and now you've been able to hear. And until next time, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.